Football is back. The 102nd edition of the Community Shield, the 43rd to be played at Wembley. City in blue and Manchester in red. Welcome to the United Old Sport. My name is Webb. The smile, the green is all about joy, expectation, anticipation, and happiness to welcoming the new season of football as we get proper into that curtain raiser. My name is Webb. Like, share, subscribe. I've been telling you that this season is going to be intense, and what better way than this to start it the exact way we ended it. And for a Man United supporter, we should be hoping we end it by beating our biggest rival at the home or the theatre of football in the United Kingdom. The Wembley Stadium, it is where we are going to be taking on this City, who are hoping to make it 7 to the good. They have won the Community Shield 6 times on 6 occasions. Man United have won it 17 times. So in every way, in every right, we've got every right to be bragging as the bosses of the Community Shield. But listen, it's not even about the Shield. It is about the pride of winning the Manchester Derby. Welcome aboard. How are you feeling? I feel jiggy and I feel can I be honest? It's a mixture of feelings as we get into the new season. Of course, at some point in the transfer window, I was buzzing, excited, and feeling like, yeah, this is it. This is the summer. But the way things became slow later is a bit worrying. I'm not worried at all because we've beaten City before. In the last game, their most recent memory of Man United was a humiliation. And guess what? We beat a stronger Manchester City. We beat a stronger Manchester City in the FA Cup final. Some of the players who were available for that game are not there for this one. That was the team that we beat. But missing players, Kyle Walker won't be there, Phil Foden won't be there, Rodri won't be there, John Stones won't be there. So obviously we've got a divine opportunity to start off our season with a mark by beating them. Of course, for Man United, only 3 of the players who are part of the starting team that beat them 2 months ago at the same venue are away. That is Rafael Varane, who left, Aaron Wan-Bissaka, who was left behind pending his move to West Ham United, and Sofian Amrabat. The rest are there, and certainly they will be feeling that we are ready. So it's a very interesting course state. Man United has improved the squad. Man City has only brought in one player, that is a Brazilian youngster, Savinho. Man United has brought in Joshua Zirkzee. He's the only one of our 2 signings who will be hoping to make a mark. That there is my probable starting 11, and of course you can see it there. It's a starting 11 of confidence. If you try to compare it to the one I just showed you, the one that beat City in the FA Cup final, we respected them because we had to. Obviously, you've got to respect City. Whichever club you are, you've got to respect City. We played a 4-2-2-2. 4-2-2-2. Hmm? 4-2-2 formation. That's what 4-2-2-2 formation. That's what we played in the previous fixture, which we won. It's with vertical lines of threes either side, two in front of the back four, and it worked wonders because we had to respect them. We are not good enough. We are not fluid. We are not flowing. There are no patterns in our play. So all we had to do is contain them and get our moments, relying on the individual brilliance of the so many individual talented players we have. And if you do recall, it was Alejandro Garnacho, of course, sort of gifted by an error, but most importantly, the beauty of the game was that pass from Bruno to find the wonderful Kobe, and guess what? The rest is history. We won a second major title in the second season of Eric Ten Hag. This time around, we will be hoping to make it more. Now, of course, how we start the season is always going to be important, and that is why this game later on tonight against Man City is so important because we are facing an arch rival, the right team to give us the ultimate test as we go into the season. So imagine a preseason where you played Arsenal, Liverpool, and City at last for a shield. I think it is so important. And also the feeling, I was listening to Diogo Dallo talking about the feeling of winning at Wembley. They all know it. Just playing there is an honor, but winning there is a different feeling. It's a special feeling. It's surreal. So that's exactly the motivation these boys will need coming into the game. So I think for me, going proper into the team, I think for me, first of all, whereas yes, we've got to respect City, the fact that we beat a tougher City before, this is the game that gives us an opportunity to come and play our game, trying to dominate. When is the last time Manchester United dominated Manchester City? Even the games, a few times we've beaten them, we have not really dominated them, and it's not an easy thing to dominate a Pep Guardiola coached City. So my feeling is that is what we should be aiming to do. That even if yes, we may not dominate 100%. We are not there yet. We're behind them still. I think we've got what it takes to go out there and apply ourselves, be proactive, be in control because it's a neutral ground. There's nothing like respecting the opponent in their ground. It's a neutral ground. This is a big rival. We should be going there feeling ourselves that we can play football because we've beaten you before in the last encounter. So for me, I think we've got everything in our armory to go out there and put on a good show. I don't want to see a one-sided game. I don't want to see a fully cagey game. I want to see a game of respect but application. That is why I came up with that probable starting 11 with Harry Maguire and Johnny Evans fit. Of course, it's Johnny Evans doing more of the talking now before the game, but I'm thinking Maguire should start with Lisandro Martinez, Dalot on the right, Harry Amas on the left, in the middle, Casemiro and Kobe probably could be on the left and Casemiro going the other side. The two keep it firm in the middle. That's solid enough. If we play double pivot, it's solid enough. We don't need to pack so many people. The 4-2-2, whatever formations that Eric Ten Hag orchestrated. Whereas it worked, I think that was by the time at that time. I think we need now to be able to play our game and bring it to them. It's not the FA Cup final. It's just the Community Shield anyway. So Bruno, of course, in 10. Ahmad, of course, now the debates will be about the front three because you've got Alejandro Garnacho, you've got Amad Diallo, we've got Sancho who has been looking impressive. Of course, Mason Mount as well. Then we need to see Joshua Zirkzee, and of course that's where the debates will be on who should start up top. One thing is for me clear. I don't want to say Man United that has these wingers starting as false nines and whatever when we spent 42 million pounds to buy a striker. I think Joshua Zirkzee, it's a birthright now for him to be starting games when Rasmus Hojlund is not there as our number 9. We shouldn't be going back into being so creative unless he's injured, unless they deem him not so fit to start playing. But the fact that he's in the squad, put him there. Put him there. Let him be baptized with fire. In any case, this Man City is a weaker version of Man City, honestly. And so that's why I think for me, Joshua Zirkzee should be a non-negotiable. He should be starting. Ahmad is a non-negotiable. Those two, for me, up top in the front three, Ahmad and Zirkzee should have every right to start the game unless they got injuries and setbacks we don't know of, which I don't think. So for me, that's a non-negotiable. Now the debate would be on the left with Rashford and Alejandro Garnacho. What should be the plan? I think Garnacho can rest a bit. Rashford, I mean, these are his games. He has scored 6 times. I think the joint most games he has played individually against a team Man City. He has scored, 6 times against them. These are his teams, and the fact that he had a poor last season, this for me is a good way for him to try and win over supporters who are lost, who are sort of losing that hope and belief in this academic kid. Who are feeling, I'm one of those who are feeling he should be sold. I think for me, it would be only right for him to be to be given the chance to start because he has faced them a joint career high 21 times, winning 7 of those, drawing twice and losing the others. Of course, 12 against City. There's no shame in that. But the fact that Rashford has scored 6 times against Man City shows you that he's their tormentor. So put him there, given the fact that also Ruud van Nistelrooy has been spending a lot of time on him, trying to help him get better. So we want to see how he will look against a team like Man City. So I would give him the chance. We know what Garnacho can do. There's not so much work really yet to do on Garnacho. The only thing Garnacho needs to work on is his final decision. So, but also, I think Garnacho played so much football last season. I think he needs that rest a bit. So he can wait a bit so that we see which Rashford we have as we get into the new season. Now, going proper into the other, of course, players to watch for Man City. First of all, Pep Guardiola has admitted that they need to sign a striker. That's a replacement for Julian Alvarez. They are certainly on the hunt, a backup for Erling Haaland, certainly for Man City. They have only signed Savinho, the Brazilian winger. He's mostly a winger. Savinho from Troyes, blonde all over, PSV, and what have you. But he's not a striker, so they need a replacement for Alvarez. But the reality is the strength in Man City this season is in the fact that they have not really brought a lot of marquee players in, so they have certainly had a lot of time together. For Man United, you would have said the same with Eric Ten Hag, but the thing is that they are adding in quite a few critical players or new important players in key positions. So it is sort of them going a little bit back. You can't say clearly that they have played so long together. At least, of course, you can say that about the game in particular today, because the new many of the new signings are not in yet, or they're not even those who are there are injured, like Lenny Yoro. But for the greater good of the season, I think United will be having a lot of couple of new faces in there that will need time to jail and acclimatize with the rest of the team. But for this particular one, I think Man City will still, I think, have a nod because they played a lot together. For Man United, even the players who are there, some of them are just returning from long injuries. So again, it's a whole different feeling around the team. But what I know is that Eric Ten Hag must have it, and he's with his backroom staff. They must have worked on the playing template, which was the biggest issue that was biting Manchester United. So I think for me, it's there should be, and whereas the squad has not been clearly impacted by the changes that Ineos have made in terms of players, the signings they have brought in, I think there should be an impact when it comes to the coaching and the style of play, which was clearly lacking for Man United. The backroom staff, the technical team has been boosted a lot, and the results of that should be seen in the performances, the display. How do we put together patterns? Do we build up our play? How do we pass the ball? How do we make the transitions from defense to attack, from midfield to attack? How do we set up ourselves? How do we attack? When do we go full gear to try and go for a goal? When do we cool the game? All those things, for me, those are the details I would want to see, because that is where the biggest job at Man United has been done, because the backroom staff was fully constituted. I think they've had ample time to apply whatever methods they want to play. If we don't see that, I think it's going to be a whole different headache. Before I even get to the personnel, it's the template, the playing template, and I want to see how it matches against the best, because trust you me, there are not so many opponents better than Man City that we'll find in the league. But also, going again, as I need to balance this up, looking at it from the Man United but also the City perspective, to try and give a fair share of what a game we should expect. For Manchester City, whereas the Community Shield is not their most important of titles, and they have they don't have a stellar record. I think they have lost it 3 times. Pep Guardiola has lost it in three of the last 4 times, probably. And remember that he has won the Premier League 4 consecutive times, meaning he has been there for 4 consecutive times, but losing it on 3 occasions of those. Whereas it's not really a big, bad, dubious start against him, because it's not something really clubs win and they will be, dreaming about it. United has had a stellar record in it, winning it 12 times, 21 times rather, and losing it 9 times. So United, I think, are the record winners of the Community Shield. The thing, though, is I think for me, for Manchester City, this every competition, every trophy they have a chance to win this season is important. You know why? Because for Pep Guardiola, this could be his last season at Man City, probably in England, because I don't expect him to leave Man City and join another English club. I think unless he's going to go for a championship club and try to make more history and promote it and come and win the Premier League with it. So that will praise him more. But I don't expect him anyway to stay in England. So Pep Guardiola has got signed an 8-year this is the final year of his contract. It's the 8th year at his 8th season at Man City. It is going to be his final year here. At least he has not renewed his contract. It is going to be, it's expected to be his final year, and certainly he will want to live with a bang. So if he can win everything and anything there is to win, certainly he will, welcome that. So that's why, as this season starts, the motivation for Man City is natural. It's a natural motivation, because these players don't know what will happen at the end of this season. So they want to play every game and play in every championship like their lives depend on it, or like it's the last. So for me, it's really going to be a good test whichever way. The motivation is there. Everything, I think, is setting us up for a good show, a good game of football. Players to watch for Manchester United. Again, I will emphasize. I want to see the fitness of Lisandro Martinez. We have not seen him play for Man United for quite some time. But what shape of Martinez are we going to see? What are his fitness levels? Very important, because for Eric Ten Hag and how he plays, Lisandro Martinez is a very important player. If Martinez is off, he's not good, we are off. Remember, he's the only left-footed centre back we have. Of course, Luke Shaw will come in and fall in, but I don't have time to spend on a player who is never fit, so I will not even rate him. Luke Shaw is a left back anyway when he's fit, and he's not even in the team, so I have no right to talk about him. So for Martinez, I think we need to watch his fitness and see what levels he's at, and that again will give us an idea of how the season will go. United are trying to sign an make an emergency signing, a player who can play both left back and central defense on the left footed. That is Hermoso. United are trying to go for him. He's a free agent. He's another Spanish free agent roaming around. This is said to be probably an emergency signing. You see, sort of a little bit like we signed. Sergio Reguilon, if you do recall, from Spurs. Well, we signed him not a, he was also a backup really. I don't think we really went sent out in that summer when we signed him. I don't think we set out to sign him, but we brought him as an emergency signing because of the injuries we had in the left back. So we are still back in that position where we want to sign another emergency left back, and this 29-year-old Spanish Mario Hermoso, who plays both left back and central defense, is one of those that, according to Fabrizio, Man United has been talking to. So maybe he could come in. Of course, not today. I don't think he will be there for the game today. But I'm looking at the greater good, for the greater good of the season, because issues to do with Nusa El Mazraoui and Mathis Delete are becoming more complicated than we thought. So I think that could be an addition. He's 29, experienced and mature, so probably not so much to learn. Should be easy to adapt for such a mature player. I think it would be a wise signing. But again, what I hate is the fact that we are still, you know, fixing gaps, just fixing things, patching up things. Really, things are not going up to plan, because certainly Hermoso could have never been part of the greater plan of Ineos. But that's where we are. Anyhow, that's it. But so watch out for the fitness of Martinez. Watch out for Amas. If Eric Ten Hag gives him the chance, I want to see how he performs against City. Watch out for the levels of Casemiro, because we might start the season with Casemiro as our number 6 again. We need to see his levels. Watch out for Amad Diallo, Joshua Zirkzee, of course, because it's a new signing, and Rashford. Has he improved? Is he now good enough for us to stay? He should be pushing Garnacho on that left where he loves to play. But also, we need to generally watch out the improvement in terms of how we play. So those are the key things to watch out as we do take on Manchester City. The play, the patterns, what are we playing, the identity. What is our identity? That is important. When we get those, I don't care what the result is, even if they beat us 10-0, for as long as we've got a proper idea of all those elements I've spoken about, we've got a playing style that is good, a pattern, I tell you, the season will be all right. My name is Webb. This is the United Sport. Like, share, and subscribe. My prediction is City won't beat us. We beat a better City. We can beat this one. My prediction is a 3-1 win for Man United.